Hello, it's Chuck.
Chuck, Brian Johnson here, my son. How are you?
Good. How are you today?
Canny.
How's the tour been going?
Pretty good, me son. In fact, very good.
Very good?
Yeah.
Who described?
Nice and full and wonderful and noisy and loud and all the good stuff, you know?
Well, good. Noisy and loud's what rock and roll is all about.
Yep. Had a good time.
Very good, very good. How long's the show lasting?
Oh, it's about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Which is a long shot.
Just long enough, right?
Just long enough so I don't fall down flat on my ass.
What are some of the new songs that we're getting to hear from Stiff Upper Lip?
Well, at the minute we've been trying out, Stiff Upper Lip, obviously, and new Satellite Blues and New York City. I Feel Safe in New York City. I've just been chucking them around, having a bit play around, and it's been fun. We've had a good time.
Right. Now, some of the vintage AC/DC. What is there anything new surprises or anything maybe you haven't played in a couple of years?
Well, yeah, we were playing Get It Hot from Highway to Hell, which is a good song. We'll put it in now and again. We'll try to, change a few little things about now and again, just for a bit of fun. And so it's been good,
Yeah.
So, we keep the standard, the good standards that everybody, that would get lynched if we didn't do.
Of course.
We keep them in,
Now, how big is the Angus on stage?
It's, I believe it's 23 to 25 feet, something like that. It's big. It's like this big thing looking over the back of your shoulder, for us anyway.
Now, what are some of the other, I heard that there are some of the props from the other tours on stage?
Well, we always bring the cannon, as you...
Of course.
And the bell. And, the pyrotechnics are always, always fun,
All right.
You never know if you're going to get fried alive on there, if you forget where the flames come from, Jeez.
Now, when you're not on stage and when you're not, having a show that day or something, what do you do personally to relax?
Well, usually I just recover from the shows I've just done. Usually I just lounge about and watch TV, and play on my computer. Because literally what you're doing is playing a game of football every night. That's a tantamount to what you're doing. It's 2 hours of non-stop, and sometimes we do 2 or 3 shows in a row.
Yeah.
And it's like just non-stop, and it's a good workout. So on my day off, if we're not traveling, which usually I just like to just curl up on the sofa and just read a good book or watch a bit of TV, see a good movie or something.
Now, the opening act, Slash the Snake Pit, how have they been doing?
Great. They're smashing. Good set of lads, friendly, that, doing what comes natural to them and having a good time, and there's a good rapport between us and them, they're real nice lads. They sit and watch the show every night, it's amazing. They're always there.
A lot of whiskey flowing around?
I've never seen any. If they are, they're keeping it to themselves.
They're hogging it.
Hogging the Jack, man.
Figure with Slash, man, there's Jack Daniels pouring out of his pores.
He's a good lad, Slash, and I had a good chance to belly up to the bar with him about a week ago, and we just had a good old natter there, and he's a great lad. He's just rock and roll right through to the bones, That's all he talks about. And I didn't realize he was born in England as well, which was a bit of a shocker.
I didn't know that either.
No, he was somewhere weird in the Midlands somewhere,
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, that took me by surprise as well, because he doesn't look English. Well, neither do I, but never.
Yeah. Now, this weekend, y'all show here in San Antonio is Monday, and this weekend we're having a Dirty Deeds weekend. Of course, it's just a chance to win AC/DC tickets, but we're doing this thing where to win the AC/DC tickets, you have to guess the dirty deed of the rock stars. And we got all these infamous rock star dirty deeds throughout the years. Of course, you're talking about Led Zeppelin's shark incident in Seattle, where they used the shark to, fornicate with a groupie. That kind of, the infamous rock star.
I didn't even know that one.
Yeah, well, apparently that's like number one on the list for some reason. I didn't know that. So,
disgusting.
yeah. So, is there any, Brian Johnson or AC dirty deeds that you could talk about over the years? Something that's just like totally rock and roll cliched,
You know what it is? It's been so long and I've done so many things. I cannot remember any of the. I don't think we've ever been disgusting. We've done some wild, crazy things, but you're looking for something disgusting, aren't you?
No, you don't have to be disgusting. I didn't know if you remember anything like when Ozzy Osbourne did the thing where he snorted the ants off of a ice cream stick.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you never know.
Mate, I wish I could think of something. It's just been our one big dirty deed to me. Right through, I mean, it's right up until last night. I mean, which I wouldn't go into. But needless to say, there's going to be a lot of dancers at the gig tonight.
Oh.
And but no, I cannot really think. Of Jesus Christ. No, and I'm letting you down now.
That's okay. It's okay. Now let's. What about the behind the music? I got to speak to you a few months back when y'all were kicking off Stiff Upper Lip, but the behind the music came out after that. Were you happy with that, or was there something maybe that disappointed you about
I thought I was thoroughly disappointed.
Really?
I thought it was rotten. I thought it was awful.
How come?
Yeah, well, first of all, they forgot that there was a bass player in a band called Cliff Williams.
Mm-hmm.
The first one that came out. We spent 2 hours each, or nearly 3 hours, with each member of the band talking about personal memoirs in the band, memories, and how and some of it was absolutely hilarious and funny and wonderful, and we give those people the. We give those people the chance to represent what AC/DC are for future generations, maybe, or whatever. And they completely cheapened it. They did the same thing, and when we come back, more death, drugs, and just, they turn everything into this. It doesn't matter which band it is.
Right.
It sounds this. It's like the same script, and every time it comes to a break, and when we come back, death was waiting round, and bollocks. And I watched it and I said, I'm not in that band. I don't know who this band is. Everything was negative. The whole thing, and that wonderful thing about AC/DC is sticking together for 25 years. There's got to be something there that sparks. There's got to be a friendship that knows no bounds. That we're, and the thing that's kept us together is our humour. I mean, it's one of the funniest. You've never heard a band laugh as much as AC/DC.
Right.
We have good times, and according to this program, we were on the edge of slitting our throats. Because life got worse and worse. I mean, the 90s didn't exist in it. They just sort of stopped at 1980 something, 82 or something, and then the rest of it was nothing. They promoted that murderer, that night prowler guy, who people had forgotten about. Now he's famous again, which is what he wanted in the first place. I mean, how dumb is that? This was a bit of piece of scum who killed people, for fun. Wow. And they tried to link it with us, but even, they had a police officer on there who said, it's got nothing to do with AC/DC, you had to cap. But they still put him on anyway, you know what I mean? And that annoys me. It's cheap. It was a cheap sensation-seeking type of program, and I want nothing to do with it.
Wow.
But apart from that, missing out your bass player, I mean, not even mentioning his name, and he was one of Bond's, he roomed with Bond. I mean, Cliff almost, looked after Bond when he was drunk and getting a bit silly, And Cliff would look after him and say, come on, Bond, time to come home, kid, and make sure he was okay. Never even mentioned his name, and that just sickened us and disgusted us. And I phoned up VH1 guy the next day, and I just said, hey, you're not going to show that again until you change it. And they did change it at the end. They took it back off the air, and then they added Cliff's name to it,
right,
which was bigger than what it.
Yeah.
But the rest of it was the same. It was dowdy, negative, and a lot of people have said it was, what do you think of it? And I've just said, I don't like it. And I don't mind saying so. I mean, I've got to tell the truth, I'm not going to bullshit anybody for anything.
No, and you shouldn't have to.
No.
Well, very cool. I was wondering if I could get you to say one thing for me for our Dirty Deeds weekend.
Sure.
And it's just something simple as, hi, this is Brian Johnson from AC/DC, and you're listening to a Dirty Deeds weekend on 99.5 KISS.
99.5 KISS. Okay, me son.
And anytime you want to go for it.
Okay, me son. Hello, this is Brian Johnson of AC/DC, and you're listening to a Dirty Deeds weekend on 99.5 KISS. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Hey, that was me deep voice.
That was your deep voice.
Yeah.
It's your Barry White voice.
Yeah. I can do that shit, you know. Baby.
You sing love songs, man.
Yeah.
The AC/DC love song sessions.
Yeah. I'm the love master. Master of love.
Oh, man. Oh, I'm glad. I mean, yeah, y'all do laugh a lot, and that's very cool. Well, we're looking forward to the show. Like I say, the show is here Monday in the Alamo Dome.
Yeah, you know, I'm looking for, you know why I love coming to San Antonio?
Why?
It's just cute. I don't know what it is. I just love the food. I love that Tex-Mex stuff on the table, you know, them corn tortilla things with a cheese on and a bit of black bean dip or whatever it is, you know. And you can't get it anywhere else in America. It's just like seems to be right there, and it's I just love it.
Have you ever had barbacoa?
Eh? What's that?
Barbacoa is, let me see how to put this. It's a Spanish Mexican food delicacy, and it is, you know how to cow between the skull and the leather skin? There's some meat right there. And they scrape that meat from the skull, between the skull and the skin, and that's barbacoa. And you got to eat that. They have that here on Sundays. It's they only serve it on the weekends because it's just, you know, just that special.
Well, there ain't much of it, is it?
No.
That's a lot of scraping.
Well, maybe when you get here, you can have some enchiladas and some barbacoa.
All right, me son, you got a deal.
Well, we look forward to seeing you.
Okay, and Chuck, thanks for talking to us, me son.
Hey, thanks for taking the time to speak with us today.
Okay, mate. Bye-bye for now, then.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, mate.
Bye.
Outside the boundaries of their phony world of kicks is the ever-present possibility of discovery. This must be avoided at all costs, for discovery brings with it the penalties of society: shame, arrest, prison. Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville.